When I first start off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the first setting with the heat gun. And what I do, I heat up the decal so the glue on the back of it will kind of soften up. Then I use the razor blade to just to get it started to move. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take the heat gun and I'm going to feather it so it don't get too hot or too cold, because the aluminum skin will either attract all the heat and make it too hot, and if I have it too far away, it's going to evaporate the heat and make it too cold. So you got to find that specific point on where it is balanced between the hot and the cold. All right, here we go. Takes a little while to get it started, mainly with these tight corners. If you ever do your other any RV, don't get one with decals. Always try to get them if they're painted. But these decals are a pain in the tail. Alright, I'm gonna see if I can go from there. If I ever get one corner started, I can feather it from there. But it's just getting this one time started. Hang in there with me, I'm almost there. And see how easy that was, because the aluminum has warmed up some and is loosening up the glue on the decal. Now this may be different with fiberglass now. You just got to watch it with fiberglass, because you'll burn or scorch the fiberglass. I have did tests where I've heated it and had my wife to check the temperature on the inside of the wall to make sure I wasn't starting a fire. Alright, here we go with a nice corner. Heat it up real good to get it started. Then I get it to pull away a little bit. And what I like to do is to go behind it. Now if you get it too close, the decal will get thin and it'll lose its strength and it won't hold. This has been difficult today. Since I'm on camera, I think I'm really not doing a good job with it right now, but I'm gonna get started and get in the groove in a minute. I like to go behind it, then that way I can just feather it and keep it going. You know, times in school when the teachers them used to tell you that math was important. I don't think math is as important as science. Because science, you got to do your pounds per square inch to make sure you don't pull too hard, and how to know when something's absorbing too much heat and dissipating a lot of heat. I'm gonna stop here a minute and let it get started, then I'm gonna show you how easy it is to get started, because right now I'm on camera and I'm trying not to really mess up too much, but I'm gonna get it started again after I get it showing to show you how easy it is. Change trick. I figured I'd be cheating if I tried to show you the shortcut way how to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and stay the course and make them kind of shorter so you can see certain segments as they get to it. So I only just did this a little bit so far. Alright, so I'm going to go up here and feather it a little bit. Pull a little bit at a time. If you can get it all in one piece, that'd be good too. But if you can't, just kind of work your way on that. Now see, as I'm feathering, I'm kind of finding that midway point where it's hot and when it's too cold. And see, if it snaps off like that, it's too cold. But if it keeps traveling, you found that midway point where it's exactly right. You found that Goldilocks point. Now, as I go along with this, keep it being so long, I usually keep my razor blade kind of handy, so I can use it at the corner just to start it and give me something to grab onto. And when you do this, make sure that the material is warm enough so you can kind of get me up under the decal and by the glue. You're not there to scrape it all, but like I said, the same thing. You don't want to scrape it all because you dig down into the material. As you can kind of see, I might have done here and here. Don't worry about the glue that's here. You can come back with mineral spirits and get this glue off. I do have a little bit of a wind, so sometimes it's blowing away the heat from the heat gun. And see how you can feather it and get that smooth spot right there? So I'm in a good zone right there. But then again, I lost it. Alright, so I'm going to stop right here until I get going a little bit so you kind of get the idea. You got to know how far to have your heat gun, and too close, not too far away. And don't pull on it too hard. So this is where the math comes important. Science comes important. Sorry about that. I like math too, but not as much as science. Alright, I've changed from the other end to this end by the door. And like I said, the same thing. There's always something about another end that works a little different. Maybe I'm left-handed and pull with my right hand. But I'm going to heat this back up and let it get to that temperature where it will begin to continue on like I was here. You kind of see how easy it is now. It'll go with the flow because I'm at that Goldilocks point where it's not too hot, not too cold. Let your children, grandkids know this is why science is more important, and staying in school is important. And I've gotten out of the Goldilocks. And some people would use, say, why don't you use stripper? Stripper's okay, but I don't feel like dealing with the chemicals and all of that. And see, I got too close because see how thin that got? But now it's cooling off a little bit and it's coming right back in. And that's what you want. You want to find that sweet spot where it'll keep going. Now I got to heat this up a little bit to try to get this to go. But I hope you all have gotten the idea that you can do it with a heat gun, but you just got to know how to feather it with the heat gun. And how to get the corner and try to get it to catch up with the other piece so you can put it all off as one piece. And I'm going to try to get that to join together if it will. And there we go. So we're going to try to keep going just like this, as long as I can stay in that Goldilocks spot. I just got to breathe this, so I'm going to lose some heat. So I may get a little closer. Breeze is left. Now if it starts popping like that, you're losing heat. And that's what it's doing, it's losing heat somewhere. Alright, but you've got the idea. Alright, I'm going to cut it off right here and then we'll go ahead and continue on with this one stripe. I'm not going to bore you to death. We're going through the whole thing for the whole duration. So, wish me luck and have a little patience. with taking off the stripes anyway.